We're at the train station about to go up to Star Wars Celebration 2023 in London. Now, the majority of this video is going to be voiceover because, like an idiot, I forgot to bring a mic with me. Now, as soon as we got to London Bridge, we started noticing the Star Wars fans dotted around everywhere. It was amazing to see all of the Star Wars fans just taking over London. The closer we got to the venue, the busier everything was, so we decided to get off at Canning Town and have a short walk. Now, at this point, it still hadn't sunk in yet. We were there, we were with all of the fans, we were with the thousands of people, but it just still did not feel real. And when I say thousands of people, I mean thousands of people. I have never seen a queue so long in my life. But thankfully, after nearly an hour and a half in the queue, we were let in. It was at this point everything started to sink in. I was hit with a wave of euphoria and was completely starstruck by the atmosphere.
I'm going to get a picture of the tiger. Oh my god.
Now, it didn't take me long to feel completely out of my depth. I understand how expensive and how precious Star Wars action figures can be, but I just did not expect anything like this. And the craziest thing was, by the end of the day, I realised these were actually quite cheap. The setup throughout the venue did amazing at making everyone, fans, especially cosplayers, feel so welcome and at home. Now, we were rushing around quite a bit. We wanted to get a lay of the land very early so we knew where everything was and what we wanted to come back to later on. Quick stop off to watch some droid racing, and I'd love to critique the operators, but it did look pretty hard. The controls did not look straightforward.
Oh, we've got one that's gone over, ladies and gentlemen. That is savage. There he goes. Oh,
now, credit to this guy for persevering, but he had an absolute mare with this droid. I'm pretty sure he's still there now.
well, this was going so well for Red One there. Oh, he's gone over again. That was a cheap push.
Got Obi-Wan over here thinking he's slick, but we all saw that. He's doing a little bit of cheating here.
Cheating bastard.
Eventually they got to the end, but after hearing that it was only one lap of don't know how many, we decided to walk on, where we found so many amazing droids. This is around the moment where I realised at some point someday I am going to spend an unreasonable amount of money buying an R2 unit. Sorry.
I like their
Now, I really regret not taking more of an interest in the cosplayers and taking more pictures because everybody looked phenomenal. I love the adaptation here of Buzz Lightyear Mando. After a good amount of walking around, we decided to give ourselves dead legs by standing at the live stage for an hour and a half. But thankfully, to make it all worth it, we were shown the Ahsoka trailer. Now, it may just have been the atmosphere, but this trailer honestly gave me goosebumps, and it was so amazing to see some familiar faces. We got our first look at a live-action Sabine Wren, who looks absolutely incredible. But not only that, we also get Hera Syndulla. We also got our first look at Mon Mothma, and the back of the head of somebody who could only be Grand Admiral Thrawn. We also got the Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny trailer, and both will be on YouTube, so go and check them out in full. Now, whilst we were here, most of the cast of The Acolyte came out in various stages. And this was pretty cool, albeit they gave us very limited information about the show. Where I'm not too familiar with these characters and actors, it is quite interesting to get to know them ever so slightly. Especially this absolute giant, who, safe to say, is very excited about playing a Jedi Wookiee. But The Acolyte wasn't the only thing being talked about. Indiana Jones was on the agenda as well. We got to see director James Mangold as well as Mads Mikkelsen and Phoebe Waller-Bridge talking about their respective characters. Obviously, limited information was revealed as per usual, but I put that down to the questions. I feel like they were definitely limited with what they could and couldn't ask, so there was only so much they could give away. Now, director James Mangold talks about the burden and the pressure of having to sit in the director's seat after Steven Spielberg is sat there creating this franchise. But he seems pretty confident. He also directed Le Mans 66 and Logan, so I'll put my faith in it.
I felt like, yes, it's a big job taking over from Steven, and but in other ways, his style is something I've been studying and admiring all my life. So it was just a matter, and it's been a huge influence on my work even before I stepped into a movie like this. So I tried to just stay inside my own voice, but also, I mean, as I think people will see when they see the film, the first 25 minutes or so is me doing my very best to channel Steven 100%.
Now, eventually we couldn't handle standing there anymore, so we had to go and walk around and explore more of the show that we hadn't seen yet. And this led us to this amazing store, In Demand Toys. I definitely recommend checking it out. It's very vintage stuff and gives you such a feel of nostalgia. And it was definitely more affordable than some of the much more exclusive collector's edition huts like you see here. Seeing the prices of these made me feel sick inside, knowing not only are they actually cheaper than some, but I also probably had some of these back in the day and just threw them away because I thought they were toys. There was also a really cool Citizen Watch store that had some amazing designs, but sadly I'm tight and I've got a clock on my phone, so I couldn't justify spending any money on them. Oh, would you look at that, we're walking again. There was a lot of walking throughout the day and a lot of standing around, so be prepared. If you're going this weekend, prepare yourself for leg ache. Now, about 15 minutes after leaving the live stage, we heard a cheer that gave us a feeling of dread and regret, and then we realised Juan Carlo Esposito, Emily Swallow and Carl Weathers had all walked on the stage. How very fucking typical. But it's not all bad. Whilst getting a beer, I managed to see Chewbacca, so I can handle that. At this point, we called it a day, and as we were leaving, we saw this amazing group of cosplayers chanting One Way Out, referencing the scene in Andor where they all break out of the prison. From here, we got more trains, did a little bit more walking, had a pit stop at Sir Ian McKellen's pub, The Grapes, for a quick pint, before heading off to a Star Wars after party where I was lucky enough to meet Henry, Tyrell, Joe, and Josiah. Out to R2, Shitu, Neve, and whatever Brady for having that party and hosting it and letting us come. It was amazing, and we will see you at MCM Comic Con as well. Now, from here, I'm just going to talk about the day and things that I didn't get to get on camera. Like, for instance, the permanently insane queue for the Lego store. It is a real shame that they couldn't manage to get that queue down slightly because it was constantly 100 metres long at least. And the same for the official Star Wars Celebration store. We could not get anywhere near that. There were hundreds of people permanently queued. There were definitely a lot of positives to take from yesterday. For instance, I didn't spend anywhere near as much money as I thought I would. My main objective yesterday was to buy a lightsaber. However, the way that it works whilst you're there, for a lot of stores at least, is a QR code based purchase. So as much as they do have a display wall full of Force Effects lightsabers, you cannot purchase and walk away with one there and then. You scan a QR code and order it to your house for the same price as it is online anyway. Which kind of took away from the enjoyment for me, because I wanted to leave with a lightsaber I had purchased at Star Wars Celebration. But sadly it couldn't be done, and instead the only thing I walked away having bought other than food and drink was a Moon Knight comic book. I don't know how it is that I managed to go to a Star Wars Celebration event and walk away with a Marvel comic. But nevertheless, I'm very happy with it, and I'm very happy with the day that I spent there. The only bit I didn't enjoy was the sheer heat that was in the venue. Massive shout out to Dora as well for coming along. It was amazing meeting you and spending all day with you. All in all, it was a great day and an opportunity that I'm going to cherish forever. And if I ever get the opportunity to go back to this event, I'm definitely going.